In order to determine whether my series converges or diverges, I'm going to use the Sequences app. The first thing I'm going to do is start by entering an explicit sequence, and I click divide to get my empty fraction form, using my arrows to navigate as needed. I'm going to go out to the right. I'm going to multiply, and this time I'm putting parentheses, so 4 divided by 5. And then in order to get my power, I'm going to hit the X to the Y button. My X and T key will default to N because I am in the Sequences app. So I'm going to click OK. And from this point, in order to explore our series, we have a couple of different options. I like to use the table, but you can also use the graph. So let's start with table. So when I'm in my table, when I'm looking at whether it converges or diverges, I do need to go to a much higher n value than 11. So I'm going to go up to set my interval. I'm going to still start at 1, but let's end at 101. And then I don't need to see all of those, so maybe let's go a step of 5. And then I'm going to confirm. At this point, I want to take a look at the summation because that is my series. So I'm going to navigate until this U sub n column is highlighted. Then I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to turn on Show the Sum of Terms. Now when I click back, there is my summation. And as I go and n gets larger and larger, I can see that my values aren't changing that much anymore. What I'm seeing is this negative 0.765, and it's recurring a lot. So I would say that this series converges to approximately negative 9.765. I also mentioned that you could explore this with the graph. So I'm going to hit the back arrow to take me to my top bar. Let's see what that looks like on the graph. I have to remember that when this is graphed, what I'm actually looking at is my sequence. This is not my series. However, I can still look at the summation of those terms by clicking OK and choosing Sum of Terms. Now I'm going to start at my first term and I'm going to go out. Whoops, I didn't actually select it. Let's say OK, and then I'm going to go out until quite a bit just to make sure that I'm getting enough values, so maybe somewhere in the 40s. I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to see negative 9.764. Let's go ahead and hit back, and let's go a lot further out this time and see what happens, maybe into the 70s. I'm going to click OK, and now I'm seeing this negative 9.765. It didn't change that much, but let's take one last look and go a bit further out, maybe even into the 100s, and I'm going to click OK, and then I still see this negative 9.765. What this is telling me is that my series is converging and to approximately negative 9.765. So there's a lot of different ways to explore this. I'm going to hit the back arrow. And the last thing I wanted to show you is that you can graph the sequence and the series at the same time. When I go to Sequences, I'm going to click Add a Sequence. I'm going to choose Explicit, but then what I'm going to do is I am going to actually use my toolbox key, and I'm going to go to the Calculus menu and click OK, and I'm going to go until I see my sum. I'm going to start at k equals 1. I'm going to go to n. Notice that the n auto-populated here. And then in order to pull up my initial sequence, I click my var key, and I'm going to see that that sequence auto-stored, and I'm going to go ahead and grab it. And when I click the X and T key, it actually defaults to K because that was what would be logical in this scenario. So I didn't even need to use alpha keys to get K. My input button gave me that. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to go to plot my graph. And right now it's auto is not on. Now here's my auto, and what I can do is I can go down to that sum and I can see what's happening just by using my right arrow, and I can see that this definitely looks like it is converging because no matter how far I'm going out, this is staying right around negative 9.765. I love how many different ways there are in order to work with this. It gives students a lot of variety, as well as the teacher, for how you want students to kind of visualize what's going on with this scenario.